Okay, so I'm actually starting to believe that I can do mediumship. The weirdest thing happened. I never imagined that this would be possible, but it happened. I went for my usual morning stroll with the twins into the cemetery, and a guy approached me. He was telling me that I was recommended to him by his friend, whom I talked to previously when I was trying to offer my services to the cemetery. And he was like, "So are you doing grief support, I hear?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to develop into a medium, and I am pretty spiritual, and I would like to help people on their healing journey. My services are completely free, so I don't ever want to ask for people to pay me any money for their healing journey. I think it should be accessible to everyone." And then he was like, "I lost my mother when she was 60 a couple of years ago, and I think I have to still to heal from this grief." And he gave me his business card and basically invited me to a church to provide grief support to people over there. But as I went on, we said bye. Okay, I promised him that I would reach out to him. And as I went on my stroll, her mother pushed through pretty forcefully. I could feel her in my mind very, very clearly. She was an adorable, rather short lady. She was showing me pictures like a wooden spoon and some kind of a pie, and I was asking, then after the whole thing, I had to go back to the guy and tell him what I experienced. And I was like, "Was your mother like a kitchen and cooking and baking enthusiast?" And he was like, yeah, that was very much like her." And I'm like, "Okay, well, your mother looked very, very excited. She was like pacing up and down, wiping her hands into her clothes. She didn't know what to touch first, and she was like very excited." And he was telling me, yeah, he was always very happy when we came along, and he wanted to give us everything at the same time. And then I was like, okay. She also showed me a pair of pink slippers and a bathrobe, and that she was rather enjoying her time in front of the television at the end of the day. And he was like, yeah, that was also very true to her. And then I told him that I was getting an M name, maybe Margaret. And I asked him if this was his mother's name. I was very nervous because I'm just always super scared that I would say something completely off. And he was like, "No, my mom's name was Gloria." And I'm like, okay, I still need to learn this probably. And then later he said, "Oh, but wait, he was Gloria Marie. So there's the M name." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you see what happened? My mind is just not you because of my own name. I am not used to people having two names. So my mind just put the M and the G into one name, creating the name Margaret. So that's why Gloria Marie, M and G, that's what I was getting." And then that was weird. It was the first ever spirit contact where I was actually getting bodily sensations during the reading, and I told him that I was kind of feeling a tingling pain kind of thing in my abdomen. I felt my bladder. To be quite frank, I didn't tell him that I felt like I want to pee a lot. It was just too private, so that's not how I phrased myself. But he said that, and I told him that this is what your mother showed me when she went to the hospital, and although you told me that her passing was quite unexpected, I know that probably she had some kind of abdominal issues." And then he was like, "Yeah, my mom had a UTI." And I'm like, Are you kidding me? UTI, urinary tract infection. That's why I felt my bladder. That is so crazy. And I was just standing there in awe because I never imagined that something like this really, really is possible. But it was very, very insanely accurate. His mom died of a very bad UTI at the age of 60, and I received all these messages, and then her message, the ultimate thing I had to tell this guy was that her mother never stopped loving him. Why do I always say her? Never mind. So that his mother never stopped loving him, and that his mother is always there with him, and that he can ask for a sign, and that his mother will deliver the sign because he's there always and she's there. Oh my God, please forgive me, my language is not distinguishing between sexes like this. Hungarian is a completely asexual language. That should be the main language in the world. Just saying. Yeah, so I'm still processing all this, but it was an insane experience, and I'm really starting to believe that I can access information from other realms, like the spirit realm, and well, maybe I should start working as a psychic medium. Who knows? Like, maybe I could. Oh my God. Insane. Okay, bye.